but 3 times he won thrice claimed the day at Roslin, 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 thrice claimed the day at Roslin, thrice claimed the day at Roslin.
Well, good afternoon, folks. We're here today to remember the Battle of Roslin. We're going to go up to the battle cairn, the area where the battle actually took place. And when we're up there, I'll give you details about the battle and the people involved in it. I'll give you a brief idea about it just now with the people that were involved. There was the Red Comyn, John Comyn, which took place on the 24th of February, 1303. Now, in some history books, it says it was a joint leader of the army, Simon Fraser. And Simon Fraser took part in many battles for Scottish independence, along with his brother John Fraser. I'll tell you more about these guys later on as well when we got to the battle cairn. I'll give you all the details. More about these guys later on as well when we got to the battle cairn. I'll give you all the details about these people. Also involved, believe it or not, by that time he'd lost his leadership of the Scottish Army after the Scottish Army was decimated at the Battle of Falkirk in July 1298. Wallace lost his leadership, but he still fought on for Scottish independence and under the Red Comyn and Simon Fraser. But William Wallace was at the Battle of Roslin. Now, I'm going to give you all the details of the battle later, but first I want to talk to you about the place we're at just now. Roslin Chapel. This whole area is to do with the Sinklers. Now, there's a guy called William Sinclair was involved in the building of this, but he had an earlier ancestor who was also called William Sinclair. That's the guy here. That's the Sinclair logo. Black cross there. Now, the story about this place here is associated with the Knights Templar. Does anybody know who the Knights Templar were? Yeah. They were really the first bankers. They loaned money to people. And what happened is, they loaned so much money loaned to so many countries, particularly France. France owed the Knights Templar a fortune. So what happened is, by order of the King of France, the Knights Templar were ordered to be destroyed. So they lined a lot of them up, and a lot of these guys were burnt at the stake. Friday the 13th, in 1314. That's a significant year. Does anybody know why that year is so significant? 1314.
Aye, Battle
of Bannockburn. Same year. What actually happened, guys, is that the Knights Templar were outlawed and disbanded. A lot of them, I say, were captured and burnt at the stake. But that same year, Robert the Bruce had a battle at Bannockburn. Now, way back in 1306, Robert the Bruce got involved with this guy here, the Red Comyn, March of 1306. These guys met in Greyfriars Church in Dumfries, because both of these were the claimants to the Scottish throne. According to the history books, some folks say that Robert the Bruce got into an argument with the Red Comyn, and he murdered them. Other reports say it was a fight and the Bruce won the fight, but the Red Comyn was killed in Greyfriars Church in 1306. Now that meant, because this murder or this guy was killed in a church, the Bruce was excommunicated. Scotland was the only place, this is significant, Scotland was the only place where the remaining Knights Templar were actually safe. So they had to make it their home. And this place here, this Roslin Chapel, is very much associated with the Knights Templar. We know the story about the Da Vinci Code and the links to the Holy Grail and all that. It is a very mysterious place. So the situation is that because these Knights Templar were safe in Scotland, they made Scotland their home. So even though all these knights were English knights, they took part in the Battle of Bannockburn, believe it or not, because they'd settled in Scotland, and Scotland was their home. It wasn't just Scots fighting at Bannockburn for Scotland's independence. There was English knights of the Knights Templar. There was also Irish divisions as well, but because of this sectarian crap we have in Scotland, folk don't want to listen to this, but there was Irish people there as well, fighting at Bannockburn along with English knights of the Knights Templar. And the Knights Templar and the Irish soldiers there very much contributed to the victory of Robert the Bruce at the Battle of Bannockburn. So that is very significant. Now, as I say, I'm going to tell you more about the Battle of Roslin itself when we get to the battle care. But I want to tell you the story about Robert the Bruce. When Robert the Bruce was dying in 1329, he summoned to his bedside the Black Douglas. That was his right-hand man, Sir James Douglas, the good Sir James. And he says to him that he wanted the Black Douglas to do one more thing for him. Because of all the fighting that had taken place during the Wars of Independence, all the bloodshed, he wanted forgiven of all his sins. So he asked the Black Douglas that when he died, they remove his heart and put it in a silver casket and bring it to the Holy Land and put it in the Holy Sepulchre, the tomb of Jesus Christ. So the Black Douglas agreed to it. And that's what happened. When Robert the Bruce died, his heart was removed from his body and placed in a silver casket. And it was carried round the neck of the Black Douglas, Scotland's most famous knight. This guy took part in 70 battles, by the way. A Black Douglas. He fought fearlessly for Scotland's independence. The right-hand man of Robert the Bruce. So Robert the Bruce, as I say, when he died, the Black Douglas took his heart on a quest to the Holy Land. That was the idea anyway. So en route, the Black Douglas was moving through Spain. He had with him other famous Scottish knights, including William Sinclair of Roslin. William Sinclair of Roslin, there he is. That's the Sinclair logo there. So, they met up with the King of Spain, King Alfonso, who explained that Spain was being invaded by the Moors or the Arabs from the Arab countries. Does anybody remember the film El Cid? El Cid, Charlton Heston, when Spain was being invaded by Arabs. Well, what happened was, it was round about that same sort of time, and King Alfonso of Spain asked the Black Douglas and the other Scottish knights for help in a battle at Tiba in Spain, in southern Spain. So the Black Douglas agreed, and with other Scottish knights, they took part in the Battle of Tiba in August 1330. But they forgot to tell the Scottish knights. The Spanish knights forgot to tell the Scottish knights about the fighting style of the Moors. That they would fight and disperse and encircle. So what happened during the battle? That's exactly what happened. During the battle, the Moors suddenly fled and split into two divisions, and the Scottish knights chased after them. Well, the majority of the army, the Spanish knights, held back. So the Scottish knights fought, and the two divisions of the Moors encircled them and cut them all down. Every one of these Scottish knights was cut down. The Battle of Tiba, 27th of August, 1330. In some history books it refers to the Black Douglas taking the heart of Robert the Bruce and throwing it into the Arabs and shouting that he would follow Robert the Bruce in death as he had in life. All these knights were cut down. There was one knight that did survive, that didn't take part in the battle. The day before the battle, a knight called Keith broke his arm and was unable to take part in the battle. And along with a guy called Lockhart, they were entrusted in bringing back the heart of Robert the Bruce to Scotland. So they never made it to the Holy Land to put the heart of Robert the Bruce, unfortunately, in the Holy Sepulchre. Now, these knights that died at Tiba, in these days with the heat that they had in Spain and the journey from Spain to Scotland, you can imagine that they couldn't bring back the bodies of these guys. So what they did was, all these great Scottish patriots, these great Scottish knights, they boiled the bodies in vinegar so that the flesh fell and left only the bones. So they brought back all the bones of these great Scottish patriots along with the heart of Robert the Bruce. The heart of Robert the Bruce was buried under the high altar of Melrose Abbey. So I'll just switch off. What an inconvenient time, eh?
It's a sign.
Anyway, the heart of Robert the Bruce was buried under the high altar of Melrose Abbey. The bones of the Black Douglas were placed in St Bride's Church in Douglas in Lanarkshire, and I've been there and visited the tomb where the bones of the Black Douglas, Scotland's most famous knight, is actually buried. But there's an incredible link to here in Roslin Chapel. The guy that was beside the Black Douglas, William Sinclair, was cut down at that battle. If you go into that Roslin Chapel and you go to the right hand side, it's a small tomb. That phone keeps annoying me. If you go into Roslin Chapel, you will find there's a small tomb on the right hand side. And everyone goes, well, why is it a small tomb? It's not a full-size tomb. It's because it's just the bones of William Sinclair. The Sinclairs were great freedom fighters. In 1320, added in the names of the people who signed the Declaration of Broad is Henry Sinclair, who was head of the family at that time. The Sinclairs were great freedom fighters for Scottish independence. Now, does anybody know the last paragraph of the Declaration of Broad?
It's at least 100.
Yeah, it goes like this. So long as 100 Scots remain alive, we will never subject ourselves to the dominion of the English. It is not for glory, it is not for riches, neither is it honour, but it is liberty alone that we fight and contend, for which no honest man will lose but with his life. So that's the last paragraph of the Declaration of Broad. And you know, I find it fascinating that this patriot, Sinclair, William Sinclair, his bones are actually in Roslin Chapel. Roslin Chapel became famous, as we know, because of the association with the film The Da Vinci Code. And certain scenes were filmed in Roslin Chapel. The actors were in there and filmed scenes for the Da Vinci Code. The other place where they filmed scenes was up at Roslin Castle. And some of us who are fit will be able to go up there later, and you can stand in the spot where Tom Hanks stood and get your photo taken. So we'll go up there later on. We'll move on in a wee while and go up to the battle cairn, and I'll tell you all the details about the battle and these brave Scots that fought at the Battle of Roslin. Now, this whole area, by the way, Roslin included, is part of what is called the Falkirk Triangle. Has anybody heard about the Falkirk Triangle?
Yep.
This is the most viewed place for paranormal stuff, UFOs, ghosts, apparitions. Apparently there's an apparition around this particular area of a big black dog. That's one of the noted apparitions in this area in Roslin. And I mean, it's incredible. And we had some psychics that went into Roslin Chapel, and at one of the doorways, they say that they sense some sort of vibration at one of the doorways in there. And some of them made some claims that it's like a stargate or an entry into another dimension, but I don't know. That's what the psychics believe. They think there's some sort of doorway into another dimension, some sort of stargate. So it's a fascinating history, Roslin Chapel. You should read up more about it. It's absolutely fantastic. So we're going to move on to the battle cairn now, and I'll tell you all about the Battle of Roslin. Does anybody want to ask some questions in the meantime? Any questions? No? Right. We're ready to move on then. We'll move up to the battle cairn where the Battle of Roslin took place, and I'll tell you all about the guys involved at the Battle of Roslin. Everybody from the Red Coman here, the guy who led the battle, Sinclair, Simon Fraser, his brother John Fraser, all these guys took part in the battle, and I'll tell you what happened to these guys after the Battle of Roslin. It's a fascinating story. And William Wallace also took part in the battle, and I'll tell you